Oh, hello there. Welcome back to another live stream with me here in Israel, where I talk with you about things. And in this particular video, I'm going to talk with you guys about how to build an AI revenue stream profit center. What is an AI revenue stream profit center to begin with? Well, break it down. It is a thing that generates monies and riches for you even when you are asleep. It is an automated way to build a scalable business that delivers profits to you even when you're not working. Now, this can apply to electronic businesses, digital businesses, online businesses very easily because they can really be automated fully, but it can also apply to offline businesses or hybrid businesses that mix offline and online. Right? It just depends on how you build your business, how you grow it, who your team is, whether they work remotely or in an office or in a hybrid situation, et cetera, et cetera. What is the product? What is the service? Is it B2B? Is it B2C? Is it B2B2C? All these different types of variables matter. What are your KPIs? What are your business drivers? What is the system you built your business to do? What are the engines you're using for growth? Right? Because growth is an engine that's helping you grow your company, but there are other engines that help growth. In a way, they're all part of the growth engine, but product marketing, communications, BI, DevOps, dev obviously separately, security, IT, et cetera, right? Fraud, trust, all these different areas of your company are all relevant to how your company grows. So that means that you need to consider all of these stakeholders as you build your business. Even if you are still just a company of one person, you're a solopreneur and you're wearing all these hats that I just mentioned and more, right? A/B tester, alpha tester, beta tester, gamma tester, product testers, ombudsman, whatever it might be. There's all kinds of different roles in any kind of company that require a person to do the work still. And yes, AI can certainly do a lot of it, but still, you need to do the work. Even if you use AI, you need to do the work to tell AI what to do. It's not going to just guess what you want to do. It's not just going to guess the business that you should do and automatically build it for you. We may get to a point where we have some, yes, you could, in theory, build an AI to do something like that. You would tell it, here, I want you to start guessing some innovative business ideas and start building them out automatically for me. But you would still need to implement that stuff, or you would still need to tell it to implement all that stuff, right? So you need to automate what you do with your AI as much as possible, and part of that is training your AI to know what you need done, telling it the different tasks you need to create, the different systems you need to build, the different routines and workflows you need to automate, and create and automate, and edit and tweak and maintain as time goes on. And you need to report to you on a daily basis, and you need to do all these different things, okay? All of which can be done through the slow process of iterations. But we're not yet at the stage where you can just tell the bot, hey, I don't have any money, build me a business right now that generates $100 for me. We're not yet at that stage. By the way, we may never get to that stage. Do you know why? Like, think about it, right? Like, if you tried to tell a bot to do that, what does it tell you? It tells you I can't actually do that. And it gives you the reasons why, which are all just meant to distract you from the fact. It actually can tell you why. Because you can build a system using an AI bot that does all these things, right? But you have to build it step by step. Why don't they automate it for you? Why don't they reward what some people would say, oh, this is laziness. You just tell a bot to make you money and it makes you money. Why don't they make the bar that low? Job security. It's the bigotry of inverted job security. Them that are at the top don't want them that are at the bottom to get anywhere closer to the top. So they limit job security for them that don't have, and they ensure job security for them that have, and them that are at the top. Right? They increase the barrier to entry to keep you out, even though technically the barrier to entry is lower than it's ever been with vibe coding and all this other kind of stuff, right? Increasingly, coding is getting to the point where you will be able to tell the thing to build you a thing like that, and it will be extremely accurate and powerful, and it, in theory, should help you build a revenue generator online because you have the right things set up for it. Yeah, you may need, I don't know, a PayPal account, a Venmo account, a Bitcoin, whatever you might need. Right? You may need a website, or you may not. You may just put it all on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, right? Which technically those are web pages, but you may not necessarily need your own .com web address, right? Plenty of businesses do not have .com addresses. They don't have a website at all. They just literally are on social media. And why is that good? Well, that's good because it means you don't necessarily need to invest in a website or hosting or having the headache of setting up. You literally just use social media first to test the hypothesis of whether or not there's demand for your product or service. If there is, then you can set up a website. Now, of course, from a branding point of view, if you have any kind of even a modest budget, you probably should secure a domain name. Even if you don't put anything up on it, but you should probably secure your brand name's domain name, if possible. And .com is great if you can get it, but if not, plenty of other ones work just fine too. Because honestly, nobody really even cares what your domain name is. Like, it has some value to a degree, but it's far less important than the actual value that you deliver as a business. Like, if your company is called Tartar Leaf Blowers, but you actually sell the most incredible chess coaching book of all time and every chess player in the world wants it, believe me, as much as some people might complain about your misleading title, Tartar Leaf Blowers, whatever that means, that doesn't mean that the chess players who know that your book is the best aren't going to want to order one, regardless of what you call it, right? It doesn't matter. Like, what does Yahoo have to do with searching for stuff on the internet? Think about it. What does Google have to do with organizing all the information in the world? Like, yeah, they might be organizing Googles of bits of data, but that's not the association that most people make in their head. They just hear the word Google and they comprehend, oh, search engine. But that's not where the word Google comes from. Google is just 1 followed by 100 zeros, so it's a very big number. What does a very big number have to do with search engines? Like, yeah, I get it. There's a lot of pages on the internet and you're indexing them all. Great. But there's also a lot of songs that have been composed. And there are musical search engines that are frankly organized far better than Google or even YouTube for finding them all, right? Like, why is Spotify popular? Is it popular? Yeah. Hello there. What? Yo, you Mexican dude? No, I'm not Mexican, dude. Why do you think I'm Mexican? But thank you. You're thinking I'm Mexican? I don't know. Is that a compliment? Whatever. But I love Mexican people. Why not? And if you are from Mexico, well, hola. Bienvenidos to my live stream. All right, so anyway. So that's a little bit about that. I'm going to, well, I was going to give you another very relevant example about this whole thing, actually. Hold on. Double check something. Let me double check something. Oh, that's okay. This is all good. So, To build your AI business to create revenue streams and profit centers, right? We have to consider, again, what is a profit center? It's a thing that is creating wealth for you. Profits are a form of wealth. One of the ingredients to wealth. You need to have profits. You have to have more profits than losses. You need to have more income than expense, right? Revenue stream meaning it is constantly happening. A stream. There is constantly liquid in the flow that is entering your bank, right? Your wallet, whatever. AI, meaning you're going to be using some form of either artificial intelligence or large language model, weak AI, strong AI, it doesn't matter. You're going to use something to show, you're going to use something to automate the business. That's really the way to say it. You use something to automate the business from start to finish. And there are many tools you can use to do this. If you have an online business, it's a lot easier, frankly. Building an automated system that uses a chatbot to bring in customers and has a chatbot throughout the entire sales funnel cycle for like a consumer product and can book appointments if necessary for demos, or it can take information to send free samples or sign people up to an email list to get people engaged, right? And start them through the sales cycle, which might be on the spot instantaneous with some kind of a sale offer, like a Black Friday, get 40% off, get 60% off right now if you buy. You have 7 days to buy it, or 1 day to buy it, or 3 days to buy it, whatever. You show the countdown clock showing how long they have. And if it's more than a day, you send them reminders every day, right? Until, obviously, you have to sign up for that. But you make it very easy to say, check here, a little checkbox to get, to get reminders before the sale ends. And they'll usually check that if they don't want to buy on the spot, but they do want to buy it at some later date before the sale ends. Maybe they just don't have their credit card info with them, or maybe they just want to use, whatever. They want to consider either other options, which is, okay, you're already fighting against another competitor, so you want to just remove that entire concept of the conflict between yourself and the other competitor, by just offering them the ability to sign up to get daily notifications until they don't need it anymore. And that way, you will at least show that you have professional customer service, and they can view you as among the top competitors in that product field, and the next time they come to buy something similar, they might consider you, right? Meanwhile, they might also tell their friends about you as one of the brands that they consider, right? And their friends might come to you and find that's actually what I want. Or their friends might buy what they recommend, because that's usually what word of mouth is so great at, right? But there is the chance that they will not buy the actual thing that their friend bought, but they want something similar, so they get something similar at one of the places the friend recommended. That's a very normal part of word of mouth referral, or indirect referral, or alternative referral, right? It's all part of the marketing funnels that we use. So how do you build the AI business? Well, again, you use the AI tools to build the AI business step by step. You build the AI tool to do your market research, right? You give it the role, so you're a genius market researcher about this particular industry and niche, and you could get down as granular as you can with the details. Give it from the beginning a very easy to use and comprehend role. It's like a genius at doing something, right? Use ChatGPT for this, or some other top of the line LLM. They love this kind of stuff, but ChatGPT really excels at taking on roles. Gemini is also really good, but sometimes it will tell you, like, well, I'm not a lawyer. And they give you all this like disclaimer nonsense, and then they kind of do it, and then you feel a little bit less like sure that it is actually giving you correct information on like legal matters. But like ChatGPT is known to be like better at taking the bar exam in any jurisdiction than like 99% of lawyers, or something like 95%. It's some incredibly high scores that it gets. Yes, it gets some things wrong apparently, Up to like 5% of the time, but like, okay, the other 95% of the time it does just fine. So you need to double check it and all that, preferably with a real lawyer if you're asking lawyer questions. But if you're just building business systems, you don't need to worry about all that, right? You just need to worry about that for the legal part. And for that, hopefully you go to an actual corporate lawyer or law service. There's plenty of those online where you can set up a company if that's what it's about, or company foundation documents, formation documents, all that kind of stuff. There's plenty of those things online. You can set them up in whatever jurisdiction you want around the world, and just deal with that and set up your company. And then once you have all the legal stuff set up in place, building your online business. By the way, something a lot of entrepreneurs don't say, and something a lot of entrepreneurial coaches also don't say, is very often entrepreneurs, especially solopreneurs, they'll just sell the product first before they actually have a business for it. Now, these days, it's relatively easy to at least sketch out the business, how it's going to be built and how it's going to run and all that fairly quickly with AI stuff. Okay, I'm telling you, like in this video, what to do. Okay? Still telling you what to do. But just because you build out the model of how it's going to work doesn't mean you actually have to get it running before you launch the business. Meaning you should be able to sell whatever product or service you're creating even before you actually have a product to sell. Right? There's plenty of businesses that have generated sales or products that don't exist yet. As long as you actually intend to use the money that you get on the sale to build the product, and that is actually what you use it for, document it, and you show that money went towards that, right? And as long as you're honest about it up front, right, you get the sale, and then you go make the thing. This is especially easy to do if you're building an online thing or a digital thing that requires only online effort that you can build online if you have skills or resources. It's harder to do if you're building a physical thing, but it's still done. And in fact, many of the greatest such examples are of physical products. Don't take my word for it. Google inventions that were sold before they existed, or the inventor sold the product first and then went like to a number of clients and then went and made it. So first he secured the bag that would enable him or her to make the product or service and then deliver it. Plenty of examples of this on Google. Like, don't just take my word for it. I've been doing marketing for donkey's years, right? I've seen all kinds of examples of things like this. But if you're new to this, you might not have. So I highly recommend you Google those kind of product examples where the inventor came up with an idea, like how to make some money, but couldn't actually build the business without selling a few of them. It would take that money and start building the MVP. And as soon as that MVP was built, delivered the product to the customers and iterated and tested and launched it from there and made every version better until or in stages, and kept improving on the iterations in stages until they got to the point where they had a proper go-to market product that could scale with a marketing budget or marketing strategy, even if the budget was zero and it was all done through organic marketing and they didn't spend a single dollar on paid marketing, right? But they were able to secure the funds necessary to do all that organic marketing and everything else, because you still gotta have a budget, even if you want to do organic marketing and word of mouth marketing and organic social media. You still need somebody to spend the time to do the work to spread the word. That's not free unless that somebody is you and you don't mind not getting paid for your own work, which, by the way, is a very big problem. Like, you really shouldn't work for free, even for yourself. I mean, you can and should in some way, but for yourself, you should have at least some kind of long-term goal and strategy and targets outlined and benchmarks, so that even if you're working and not getting paid for it, that should be reflected in what you're going to receive as a reward, either through how much the company retain if you ever exit, like sell to either investors or bigger buyers or whatever. All that work should be documented, and you should be putting a value on it, right? And you calculate that value according to industry standards for that type of work, whether it's software development, hardware development, product marketing, branding, whatever, graphic arts, doesn't any work you do, right? And sometimes it's impossible to log it all, but you should at least, at the end of the day, write a summary, because you're not necessarily going to be able to log it all in real time. You'll spend most of your day just writing what you're doing. Nonsense. Instead, at the end of the day, write a summary about what you did, how long it took, what its value was to the company in terms of cost, etc. And then at the end of the week, summarize that, and at the end of the month, summarize that. You don't have to spend more than 5-10 minutes each time you do this. That way you have an easy log to track as the history of the company grows. Time passes, and you can show exactly what the company's value is worth in terms of the employee work value, etc. Right? Because that justifies your position and what you claim is going to be, what you're going to keep. Right? And why is that important? Because it shows that even when you're a company of one, you're still taking the cost seriously. You're not just saying, I'm doing this for free. Because then you diminish your position and what you could possibly get. Okay. Now, there are other approaches to this. Some people say, no, I'm just going to claim what I claim, and that's it. And that's fine. But investors typically will want to see a justification for the cost. Right? They're typically going to want to see the justification for why. Why you haven't taken a salary? Is it because you're incapable of it? Or you just were being altruistic and you weren't trying to get something more than you deserve? And you were just willing to wait a longer time for a bigger reward, etc. But you didn't feel the need to calculate everything, to be, micromanaging all that. The reality is you should be a little bit micromanaging that, because you need to make sure that you're getting what you deserve. Right? It is important. Hold on a second. So, you use the AI to do the market research, to tell you what businesses you might want to consider building if you haven't already generated the idea yourself. And then you get it starting to build the different components after you sketch out the grand business model, the grand workflow model for each aspect of the business, from the very top of the tree all the way down through each branch of the company. Build the systems, build the workflows, automate all that. Make sure that you have all of the necessary aspects of that taken care of, because it will absolutely part. And you think, oh, I'll just deal with this. You're inevitably going to cause yourself problems. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay. So the easiest way is to just make sure that you outline all of the potential conditions from the get-go. That way it's not a massive surprise to you later when you're building the business. That way you're prepared for it properly. So when it says, oh, you need this to work now, you're not like, wait, what is the BI workflow? I never thought of that. Well, you need to know what the BI workflow is. You need to understand what is important in the BI workflow. First and foremost, what's happening with finance and marketing is usually the BI workflow, right? How is it relevant to finance and marketing? Anything else? Ongoing costs, what have you. You need to know what is the critical, important information that the people in those departments are looking for, right? Once you know that, you're in a much better position to build a BI system that is going to help the company always be not just informed, but aware of what they have to do to always be ahead in BI. Right? That's why they're called BI, business intelligence. Right? You might call them quantitative analysis. You might call them any number of things. But at the end of the day, that's their job, is to get you the best available business intelligence. Whether that's quantitative or qualitative information, it doesn't matter. Generally speaking, it'll be quantitative because it's easier to measure things. So they're going to sort through a lot of quantitative information. But again, that really depends on what they do with the information and how they present it to you and how they collect it, etc. Right? And there will always be some quantitative information that will be different, gathered from different places than your traditional quantitative information. There will always be somebody, a source, that provides you with high quality information that you should consider that is not. Now, does that mean that the qualitative information will always outweigh the quantitative? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means that the qualitative information is vital, remains vital throughout the process, even if you use quantitative information more because of the nature of it. Right? It's just more accessible, more available, more obvious to use. As an alternative source for information that's relevant for the development of the company, one way or the other. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for now. I will continue letting you know about how to use AI to build profit centers, revenue streams, etc. But if you want more about this, check my recent videos. Look for my master prompt. If you want, I will also paste it in the video here. If you guys leave a comment that you want the master prompt and I see the comment, I will put it in here. You can use that as your first step towards building AI projects. Start simple with like ChatGPT or whatever, no problem. And then you can develop the prompts from there using more traditional prompts. But the master prompt is really great to start you off and sets you in the right direction, in the right frame of mind and all that to build the thing you want, whatever it is. All right, so check that out. I might just put it in the description anyway. We'll see. Probably I will. Until the next one, guys. I'll catch you later. I'll give you more detail in the next video. Peace.